Get back in the cuddle sack. So in this video, let's talk about Mike and what's happening with Mike. Mike is a little under the weather. He looks really great now. Mike, you look so good. Are you feeling better? But, excuse me, Nate. We're trying to have a video discussion about Mike. Leave it to Nate. Well, his water is kind of low. I need to fill it up. I don't like when the piggy's water is this low. It's like drinking backwash. Okay, Nate, cut it out. Hey, Scott here, Scotty's Animals. Today, I want to do a little video about Mike. What's going on with Mr. Mike? Well, Mike's been feeling under the weather, and I had to take him to the vet the other day, and it wasn't necessarily something that I initially thought I'd make a video about, but considering... Nate? Thunk, 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 thunk on the water bottle. I initially didn't want to make a video, or I didn't think that I needed to, but after going through this whole thing with Mike, I think that what's going on with him is something that definitely is worth talking about, because sometimes with guinea pig illnesses, the symptoms overlap, and so when you see something like what's going on with Mike, you know, it could be a couple different things. So let's take a look at Mike and let's see what's going on with him. Okay, so what were we talking about before we were rudely interrupted? We were talking about Mike and what's going on with Mike. So a few months ago, before the quarantine, I noticed that Mike developed a head tilt, and So he developed this head tilt, and I went and I took him and I got him some x-rays, and the x-rays seemed to show the exact same condition that we often see with piggies that are blind. So I didn't know if he had all of a sudden become blind and it was this mystery, but it didn't seem like there was anything else wrong with him. So I took him to the LA Guinea Pig Rescue vet. Well, I took him to the vet that is right down the street from the LA Guinea Pig Rescue. We got the x-rays, and I put him on a course of antibiotics, but nothing seemed to happen. Nothing, I didn't really see any improvement, although he didn't seem to be showing any other signs, just a head tilt, and his ear was kind of sensitive. Now, lots of times guinea pigs are diagnosed with an ear infection when in fact they are just blind. But this whole situation has actually caused me to want to rethink that. Now, Pipsqueak has a slight head tilt, and he is blind as far as I can tell. He's failed the blindness test dozens of times. But you can see what Mike's doing. He's flapping his ear like that, and so I could tell that just something's irritated. Now, I took him to Dr. Camphor's at the Exotic... Okay, let me try to say this name right. The Exotic Animal Veterinary Center in Pasadena. So I took him there, and Dr. Camphor looked closely into his ears and at his eye. His eye seemed to have some kind of an ulcer, for which I'm giving him Terramycin. Now, Dr. Camphor said that he should have Terramycin twice a day on his eye, but it was my natural instinct when I noticed that his eye was starting to get cloudy. My natural instinct was to give him some Terramycin from my emergency kit. So there will be a link in the description to the Terramycin. It's an antibiotic ointment, but it's something that you can get over the counter from Amazon. So I'll put a link down there. Definitely crucial if you have a piggy that gets a hay poke or something like that, or a scratch in the eye. It's really good. And so my vet said that I made the right choice by doing that. Well, here's something I'm not proud of, but I think it's important to mention. When I first got the discharge notice and I read it, and then I drove home, I thought that he was supposed to get the eardrops twice a day, but now that I'm looking at the prescription and rereading the discharge notice, he's supposed to get the eardrops only once a day in both ears. And that's just something important, that for some reason I screwed up. So it's really important to make sure that you carefully read the discharge notice and the information on the medicine so that you're giving the proper dosage in the right way, because that's the only way that your piggies are going to heal. Here's something interesting. He looks like he was in pain, so I've been giving him some Medicam, but now that he's on the eardrops, the doctor said that I should not be giving the Medicam because they can exacerbate the possible side effects of both Medicam and the eardrops, which is something that I wouldn't want to do. So even though, you might have leftover medicine from a previous illness for your guinea pigs that you keep in your emergency kit, you need to really consult with a vet, because you don't know how these drugs, how these medicines are going to react with each other. And in general, you don't know if you're treating for the correct symptoms. So it really is important to go to a vet when you're not sure exactly what it is, and it's something that can't be treated easily over the counter. Like ringworm and mange, those are really easily treated. But if you saw that your piggy was struggling, even if you were treating them, there's a certain time where you just, look at Mike. He doesn't look like he's feeling well. And I had to take him to the vet. So, but he is on the road to recovery. He does have energy and an appetite and everything, but he is dealing with an eye ulcer and some ear issues. Mikey Doodle Doo, where are you? We got a lot to do now. Hi, Mikey. So I got Mike, and yes, I know he needs some Terramycin ointment for his eye, because he has an ulcer in his eye, and you can see his ears are sensitive. He needs also the eye drops, or the ear drops, in 1.1 in both ears. So as a treat, there's a little vitamin C. That's the Child Life liquid vitamin C right here. I'll put the link to that in the description. A lot of people ask me, they say they can't find the vitamin C, save the rest for later, and some pea shoots from the garden. People will say, oh, I can't seem to find it, it's out of stock, or what's a good option? There's plenty of vitamin C cookies you can get, Oxbow and various others. I'll see if I can find one of those and put those in the description too. Okay, so first thing, and I already had some of this Terramycin ointment in my emergency kit, and I recommend that you get it. It's something you can get online. So it's great to start thinking about your emergency kit. So now what am I doing here? I really want to just get this on his eyeball, and Mike's really a very nice guy. You trust me, Mike? So it will melt with the heat of their body. So if you can get it close to the eyelid, you don't have to get it exactly in the eye. If you can get it close, then you can kind of smear it in and some of it will melt in. But if you can get like a glob on the eye, that's the best. But it will melt off the eyelid and go in there. This stuff isn't cheap. It's a little bit more expensive than Neosporin, so you want to try to actually be precise. You don't want to waste it. But it's not that expensive. It's not as expensive as like a prescription medicine. Okay, so you got that in his eye that has an ulcer. Buddy, you're so broken. He's almost 5. So, okay, what's next? You want another little squirt of vitamin C? This is the part he hates the most. Oh, I think you dripped most of it on my arm. Okay, hold on, we'll save some for later. You can have another pea shoot. Yeah. These things were alive just 2 minutes ago, and I picked them just for Mike. Just for you. Okay. Mike, you want to sit right here? Nate, be quiet. Nate's kicking his giant plastic barn around. Where are you going? Stay here. I could put him in my lap, but then you wouldn't be able to see him. You want to go in my lap where it's safer? So he only needs 0.1, and this is another thing. You want to have a bunch of these different size syringes. Hey, come here. All right. You just get it, stay there. You want to have on hand, I think that the 3 syringe sizes to have are the 0.5 milliliter like this. Now, cc and a milliliter are basically the same, interchangeable. That was Billy chewing on his Space House. Okay, so what the doctor said is that, okay, let me scooch this over a little bit. Can we scooch? Okay. The doctor said to squirt it in his ear and then let him shake it out, but try to get it in the ear if possible. So, I know. And you want to be patient. You don't want to hurt them. You trust me, right? And he's just, I know, he's just very sensitive. I know, buddy. But I don't want him to, I'm holding it parallel to his head because I don't want him to jerk and have this, like, poke his brains. Okay? Ready? So patience. Come on. There we go. Is it in there? Now I'm going to actually make him do the little ear thing to get most of it out, and you saw it go flying. Good. That's what we're supposed to do. Good. Okay. You get down here. Another dose. When we're dealing with only 0.1, I like to open the syringe a little ways and then fill it up. That way I can really clearly see the line a lot better than this, you know, black line at the end of the suction thing. So this, for me, it works best because I can really see that line exactly at focus, exactly at 0.1 where I want it to be. So there we go. Okay, other ear. Look at that butt. Okay, other ear. Again, parallel with his head so that if he jerks, and then I use his ear, tuck it around the syringe. You know, you might have guinea pigs for your whole life and never have to give them eardrops. There you go. We're done. Here. Come back around. Finish your vitamin C. Here we go. Good. And now we have a couple pea shoots left. Pea shoots! There we go. I'm gonna have a nibble. Hope that fleece was clean. That's so good. It's just like, it tastes like when you bite into a fresh, like, snap pea. Wow. But the cool thing about those sprouts is you can grow them in less than 10 days. So if you haven't seen my guinea pig garden, here's episode 1. Start there. Okay, we're done. We're done. A lot of people ask, Mike's a silver martin, which means he's got a white belly and he's got this silver agouti color. Yes, you're so handsome. And usually they have this white around their eyes. And Mike, I found Mike, I believe it was the West LA animal shelter. And he turned out to be such a friendly guy that it was easy to pair him with one of my solo boys.
Foster fail.
Yeah, we're gonna get you completely fixed. We're gonna fix your eye ulcer. We're gonna fix the ear situation. You know, this vitamin C, I'm treating it as like a treat, but it really, when piggies are not feeling well, a little extra vitamin C can't hurt. You know, I take a multivitamin, and especially in times of stress, you'll see the stress supplements, and they always include vitamin C. B vitamins are important too, but they always include vitamin C. The sprouts have vitamin C too. And you don't have to worry about overdosing your piggies on vitamin C because they will just pee out any of the extra. So I can't stress enough, having an emergency kit is really important. Look at that, it's pushing on 80 degrees. We got to turn that fan back on. But having an emergency kit is really important. You always want to have the things that you're going to need in an emergency before you need them, so you're not scrambling to obtain things or having to do without. Now this swamp cooler can drop the temperature 20 degrees in 15 minutes or so in a room like this. So let's chill out, boys. So we're gonna chill out. And have your piggies had ear infections? Have they had eye ulcers? Let me know. What are your experiences with giving ear drops and eye ointment? It's not the easiest, but with a little bit of patience and a little bit of love, you know, I think you can handle it. If I could do it, you could do it. Right? See you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. You know, leave a comment because I really love interacting with everyone in the comments. And if you haven't hit the subscribe and the bell notification, do that so you don't miss any videos. And if you wanted to check out my Etsy shop and possibly support Scotty's Animals, I'd really be grateful. Thank you so much.